In this video we are going to learn about data communication. Before moving to data communication, we should understand what is ports, how external devices are connected to the computer. You should be able to identify those ports and basic feature of a computer. This I no need to explain. We know the speed can work much more faster than the human. Accuracy continuously without any errors can work, but sometimes human make errors when it is repeated even the same process. But here the proper instruction is provided, even infinity times we can run without errors, we can maintain the accuracy. Efficiency, right, never gets tired, right? Only we need stable power supply, right? Versatility mean, right, can perform many tasks at once. You can watch a movie, browse internet, listen to a song, right? Then storing and retrieving. Now these port you should be able to understand, right? USB port, this is the standard VGA port, right? Will be connecting our display unit. But previously also I explained, if we want to have good quality, higher resolution graphic, then instead of this we can fix a VGA card. Now this is the network port, will be connecting our network cable to interconnect computers together, right? The HDMI, this is also now the new LCD, LED all support HDMI port. Here the difference is this can transmit video and audio. So here only the video signal, this can transmit video and audio. Now for example, if you connect your laptop to TV using the big screen, the laptop audio also will be sent to the TV. So using TV you can watch and hear. So there are basic the ports like this, pink, green and blue, it is for audio port, right? Mic, line in, line out. This is very old parallel port, right? Now we are not using this. Why? Those days printers are connected here, but nowadays printers and many devices we use USB. This is the serial port. Serial mean one at a time. Parallel mean 8 signal at a time. Parallel ports are faster than the serial. So those days the communication devices normally we connect using serial port, but nowadays those devices also using USB. Then this is the old type of keyboard and the mouse port. Now for the keyboard and the mouse we are using this. Certain latest motherboard, these ports are not available, only it support USB port. So this is actually the power supply port. You should be able to identify. Again the cable also same. Here you get there is with a notch the network cable, and here to connect mic, speaker and the line in, the same type of the cable, and the HDMI also the compatible cable for this HDMI port. So all those cables also you should be able to identify. It is very simple, as you see you can identify, it should match with these ports, right? Then data communication, basic component of data transmission are sender. Source should be there, there should be actually this then the media, this should be medium, right? Medium and receiver, destination, there should be a receiver, sender, medium and the receiver. The modes of data transmission, simplex. Simplex mean only one direction, right? We use the keyboard and feed data to the computer, it is not coming back. Computer is not feeding anything to the keyboard. The radio, TV broadcasting, right, all simplex. Then half duplex, it is actually two-way communication but one at a time. Example, walkie-talkie, right? Two direction possible, one at a time. While A talks, B can't communicate. When B talks, A can't communicate, right? Bi-direction but one at a time. Full duplex, we can take normal phone call. Both parties can communicate at once, right? Simplex, half duplex, full duplex. Then data transmission medium, there are two types. Guided mean wired, unguided mean wireless, right? So then wire, twisted pair, coaxial cable and fiber optic. This is actually light transmission. These like the antenna cables, right? CCTV all use this kind of cable. Then the twisted pair is for the standard network communication. Then in wireless you get radio, satellite and infrared, right? Infrared, but here we can't separate like satellite. Either the best option here is, I have purposely taken this, microwave, right? So satellite comes under microwave, radio, microwave, infrared, right? Now we can see under radio, right? You get even Bluetooth also wireless, Wi-Fi also wireless, all use radio frequency signals. Microwaves comes under, satellites comes under microwave communication, right? Okay, now we see a twisted pair cable. It is always, the wires are twisted like this to avoid magnetic interference. Here you get a separate shield, so this is known as shielded twisted pair. This is unshielded, this is little expensive, and here less magnetic interference, because the shield protect from interference. Here the shield is not there, therefore magnetic interference effect is much than the shielded twisted pair. That is the difference. Then coaxial cable, right? This kind of cable, normally you get center conductor and the braided shield here, normally used in cable TV, then CCTV, TV antenna cables, all use coaxial cable. Then optical fiber or fiber optic, this is the fastest medium at present, very fast and long distance possible. Always these pair actually separated using insulators, right? You will be get multiple fiber pairs, right? This basic understanding should be there. Then unguided mean radio waves. So Bluetooth, Wi-Fi all comes under radio waves, but here we no need to keep transmitter and receiver face to face, right? So inside communication is not needed, right? So even can transmit over buildings, trees, it is possible, right? That we need to clearly understand. Certain communications, transmitter and receiver need to face each other inside, but here the radio waves no need to keep a line, not necessary, right? Still it's spread out, so therefore in all direction this can transmit. That is the radio waves. Example, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, cellular network. Then microwaves, it provide high frequency radio waves, right? Only thing is the frequency is different from the radio and the microwave, right? Now here radio waves and this is a microwave, only the frequency different. Now one-to-one communication, but here the linear mode. Inside communication should be there, each should be able to face each other. That's what we are calling it as one-to-one, a linear mode, used in satellite and terrestrial communication. Terrestrial mean when this communication is carried out on the earth, we are calling it as terrestrial communication. Then the other type is satellite. So this actually the distance between centers are decided based on geographical factor. Now it is very clear, no? Well, there shouldn't be any obstacles, right? That's what these towers are very tall, right? Otherwise what happen? The easily this object may cover, then waves won't be able to transmit to the receiving end. Here see, should face each other. That's why these towers are very tall, then there won't be interference, no? Even the satellite it should be directly communicate with this work as a transponder, receive, modify and repeat as well. When signal weak, the satellite, there is a unit, it will amplify it and send it to the receiver disk. Now it is very clear, right? Then another kind of wireless communication, infrared. This is actually use light signal, again one to one inside communication. Most of the remote control use infrared. Some other devices also there. Now there are wireless keyboard and mouse also use infrared. Then we need to keep inside, right, face to face. Certain remote control we need to align to on, but certain remote controls you can on it from anywhere right, within the distance. When it is infrared, it is actually inside, one to one. But if it is a Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, we no need to worry, right? Then difference between guided media and unguided, this actually the basic understanding. Other than that, you no need to memorize, right? It's a straightforward. No, it's a wireless issues. Okay, the wired, right, can propagate through the air, but here it is wire. Then can pass through the buildings, but wires can't through the can't pass through the building. Costly, affordable. Likewise, the basic understanding is enough, right? No need to memorize. This is actually voltage, current, or the protons in the guided media, right? That is actually not necessary, right? Voltage or current. Here the electromagnetic waves in unguided media. These are the basic things, right, we need to understand here, right? Will we put this here? It's not necessary, right? Just a basic idea, right? Then to implement a network, we need basic components, right? Connectivity devices, we need to understand these devices clearly. Now here this is actually the old kind of device, hub. Here the disadvantage is, now say for network will be connecting using these ports. No, now for example, let's say here are 1 2 3 4 5 ports, so you can connect 5 computers, right? Here the disadvantage is, when one computer transmits a signal to another, the second computer can't straight away receive it. It will broadcast actually to all ports for unnecessary traffic. Even other devices also receive, but only the correct receiver will respond, but still messages pass to all computers. So therefore it is now not used. Instead of hub, we can use switch. Switch is little smarter than the hub. Use MAC address table. So therefore sender will only send the signal to particular receiver only. No need to actually broadcast to all these ports. Therefore reduce the traffic. You no need to worry about this layer 2 and all, right? Maintain a MAC address table. The advantage is not transmitting, not broadcasting to all ports. Only particular receiver will receive the message, right? That is switch and the hub. Now you have many students have doubts, the access point, again the router, then Wi-Fi. Likewise, now here when consider this router, now actually this router consists of modem, access point and routing circuit. All three are included. Now router means the router can route packet from one network to another network. Switch can't do that. Switch can only transmit packet within the network. It is suitable for local area. Switch can't transmit any messages to the internet, not possible. That's what will be connecting router here. all these devices communicate with switch and then pass the signal to router. Router only can route. The routing circuit should be there, right? Use IP addresses. That is the function of router. But now the access point also integrated here. Why? When wireless device communicate, wireless device can directly communicate using Wi-Fi signal through this access point. Then those wireless device also can be connected to the internet using this router. Now let's say this is not supporting any wireless communication, the old routers. Then if you need to connect wireless devices, we need access point. We connect this access point to this router. Then wireless devices communicate with the access point. Access point will transmit those messages to router, then router can transmit, right, if not supported. But nowadays all these routers support routing circuit, access point and the modem as well. What is a modem? Modulator, demodulator. Because when it receives the signal, before transmitting it need to convert to analog signal. So the digital, the long distance is not possible. Therefore there should be a modem to convert the signal according to the connection. Right now this router is in one location, there may be another router in another location. There are different kind of routers as well. So when those routers are interconnected, depends on the connection, there should be a modem unit to convert the signal to transmit. Once it transmit, the receiving end router will again convert that signal to make compatible with the computer. So therefore we need a modem. If you need to connect wireless devices, we need access point, and route packets from one network to another network, we need router. We are calling it as a gateway as well. Gate to go out. Right? Now it is very clear, right? That's what now we are not separately using access point, modem and everything, all integrated here. But when needed, we can use access point, right? Let's say from another room there are wireless devices need to communicate with the router, then that particular room you can have a access point and all wireless devices will communicate with the access point. Then you will be connecting the access point using a wire to the router. Again, another advantage is the access point wireless to wired, wired to wireless. Now let's say once you connect this access point here, some wired computers are there, no? So even the wired computers can communicate with wireless devices. Similarly, all the wireless communication will be converted to the wired signal and pass it to the wired devices. Now it is very clear: function of hub, function of switch, function of access point, function of router and the function of modem. This needed. Now see, this use digital signals, so therefore the modem will receive the signal from this computer but can't transmit using this digital signal, right? Higher distance, this should be converted to the compatible format, depends on the communication. So then modem is needed. The other side also the similar modem should reside there. Then whatever the signal comes to the modem, it will be converted to digital and give to the computer. So we need all these components to implement a network system. Then type of computer networks. Type can be classified according to geographical distribution of computers in the network, right? Now this is the basic idea, depends on the distance, right? LAN within a building or inner LAN within 1 kilometer. 1 kilometer LAN, if we implement a network, we are calling it as a LAN. MAN mean the limitation is like 20 to 25 kilometers. Within that kilometers, if LANs are connected, that means above 1 kilometer. Distance is above 1 kilometer and below 25 kilometer, those are known as metropolitan area network. Network within a city, example. WAN within or outside a country is possible. Good example, internet. if it is exceeding about 25 kilometers, even within our country, from one district to another district, we can't call it as a man, it is a van, depends on the distance, right? So here we can have basic idea like this. Here you see land within a building or within a land 1 kilometer, we can call it as a land. Here these many lands are connected within a city. Right now here actually the distance range is within 16 miles or 25 kilometers, let's say. Then we are calling this connection as metropolitan area network. Can have many lands, right? So maybe this land is actually 50 kilometer away from this, then this connection is known as WAN. Right, internet is a WAN connection. Then computer network topology. Now network topology is actually the pattern how these computers are arranged in a network. This is the older type, bus topology. Now you can clearly see it comes machine to machine and pass the signal. If one machine damage, others won't receive those signals. This is actually the commonly used type now. Star topology, if one machine damage, even others can communicate, but if switch damage, then entire network collapse. This is the ring. Here the message is passed through a ring. This also actually point to point. When one machine damage, the other won't receive this signal. Mesh is the advanced and expensive. Each and every device connected with separate link. Therefore, if one device damaged, no issues, others can communicate. This is we are calling tree. Commonly the star topology connected using a tree. Now here if the backbone cable damage, the entire communication stop. Now here if the backbone cable damage, only between these network communication stop, but within the network it's still working. So you have to have the basic idea of this topology. Looking at the diagram, you should be able to name and how this communication occurs. That's the basic idea, right? Then advantage of computer networking, very clear. Data and information can be shared. We will be putting in one machine, then we no need to have the same data in your machine. Still, once you share, you can communicate from remote computer and access those data, right? Then less storage space, right? We no need to have each and every computer with big hard disk storage capacity. Only one machine we need with higher capacity. Will be storing everything there in the central server, then clients can connect it and use it. Ability to share resources, let's say a printer. So we no need to have a printer for each and every computer. We can share the printer, then we can print from all client machines. So one printer is enough. That is resource sharing. Ability to control central software. We will be installing the important software in central server, and all client can connect and use it. Ability to connect at anywhere and at any time. That is actually cloud computing. Once the data stored is using cloud, so it is available in the cloud. Only we need the internet connection. From anywhere, anytime you can access. Then security. Administrator can provide security. Who can access these resources? Unauthorized person can't access. Authorization should be given, then only can access. Then we can't use email without a network, no? Easy way to pass messages. So we need a network. Same time, disadvantage of computer networking also there. Possible security issues. That means when user use the computer and leaves it open, right? Forget to close, shut down or lock out. So another person can easily access network resources, right? Important informations, that is actually vulnerable. Therefore there is a risk, security issue is there. Then breakdown of a network. If the network breakdown means others won't be able to access. Not like in our personal computer. It is stored in central server. If there is a breakdown, then client can't access. If virus infected, since it is interconnected, other machines also easily affected. computer breakdowns cause other machine from accessing those particular resources or information. Then training requirement is there. To administer network, definitely need a separate training, right? These are disadvantages. Whether it is in a network or personal computer, we need to follow these steps, right? Proper ventilation, that is to use longer period right, server for longer period of time. First thing is proper ventilation should be there. Optimize cooling and airflow, right? Never block the air vents on your computers, right? What happens, it will get heated up and you won't be able to use it for long period. Then ensure stable power supply. Stable power supplies, and sometimes you may get spikes in your current line, so we need a surge protectors. Always we are not just directly connecting to the plug point, we will be connecting to the surge protector, and the surge protector on filter and send it to the device. In that way we can avoid damage due to spikes. Then UPS, uninterrupted power supply. One main advantage is while working, at least we should be able to save our work. So sudden power outage, everything will be actually lost. So even if it is a 5-minute UPS, we can save our documents. So that is depends on your requirement. You can select the UPS rating. So certain UPS you can run for hours, right? And the same time it protects against surge also. Now what is the difference between spikes and the surge? Spikes actually last only for nanoseconds, like 3 nanoseconds high voltage. Surge actually from nanosecond to few seconds increase voltage, right? So we need to protect spike and the surge, and it offer the battery backup. So even in power outages you can use the computer. Then regular physical maintenance is must, right? Otherwise dust accumulate and cause damages to devices. Then optimize usage patterns. Avoid overloading. There is a limit, right? We exceed that limit and cause damage to the system. Then we should not just power off without using shutdown or sleep command. Always we need to use this command to shut down your computer, not disconnecting the power. Then software and the system always need to be updated. If certain softwares are not updated, it gives issues. You won't be able to use it properly. And we need virus guard and the OS also. Why we need to update? If any issues there, they will provide update and inform us for this issue. Updated file is kept in the internet, so you can update it using that particular file. So then your machine also actually get updated, so therefore there won't be errors due to those kind of issues. Right, now it is very clear, the data communication, you should be able to explain everything and you should be able to answer all questions. Now the fundamental of computer we are completing here, right? So therefore I'll be providing the notes also, then you can go through faster. Basic understanding only needed. As you see the question, you can revise it and write the answer. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.